What's up, beautiful people? This is Khurram from My Gadgets World and hope you are having an amazing day. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking it down for you, the differences between the different generations of the Apple TV 4K all the way up to the Gen 3, where we have not only one Apple TV 4K device, we have the two Apple 4K devices. So on the left side that you are seeing is the Apple TV 4K 2021 model. In the middle, we have the Apple TV 4K Wi-Fi, and on the right side, we have the Apple TV 4K Wi-Fi plus Ethernet. So make sure to hit the like on this video and subscribe to the channel because there's a ton of content that I have tried to put in this video. So it's going to be a lengthy video where we have the setup for the Apple TV 4K 2022 and also how to play the HDR10 and whether it plays actually or not and which application does it play on. So stay tuned for that. It is in the chapter. So if you don't want to see the unboxing, you can skip right through that. Alright guys, so you can see I have the Apple TV 4K 64GB, which was priced at $199.99 last year, and there was the minimum capacity of 32GB, which was priced at $179.99. Now we are looking at the Apple TV 4K in 2022 Wi-Fi only, which is upgraded storage with 64GB capacity, but it is available at a cheaper price of $129.99. And then we have the most upgraded model, I would say 128GB Wi-Fi plus Ethernet, and it is priced at $159.99. And I'm going to be talking about which one you should get, but now let's do the unboxing for the Wi-Fi only model, which is priced at $129.99. And I will least recommend this model because it is actually kind of downgrade. I'll talk about why it is downgrade. First thing, that it does not have the Ethernet port, and the very most important thing is the Thread connectivity. So if you're going to be using it for the Apple HomeKit, and Thread connectivity also helps you to have the connectivity with the Matter enabled devices, and I will go in that detail for the upcoming videos. But what it does is actually let you use the Apple TV 4K as a network range extender kind of device, which can communicate with the different smart home enabled devices, I will say. So there is added benefit when you go the Ethernet plus Wi-Fi model. So don't just go with the Wi-Fi model for the future proof saking, because they don't just release Apple TV every year. But now we have the upgraded remote control, which is with the USB Type-C charging. You charge it once and it's going to be good enough for at least 3 months. And now I'm going to run the quick unboxing for the Apple TV 4K Wi-Fi plus Ethernet, because everything that you have seen in the Wi-Fi model, it is there, and you have additional ports. So I would not want to waste your time, and let's just show you the differences between. Visually, both the devices look almost identical, but in the back you have one with the Wi-Fi and one with the Wi-Fi plus Ethernet, so you have that middle Ethernet port. Otherwise, both the devices share the same A15 Bionic chip and also the upgraded memory of 4 GB. Now these are all the Apple TV 4K generations. We have left side the Apple TV 4K Gen 1 with that black color remote control, which was a lot slimmer and smaller than the Gen 2 and the Gen 3 remote controls. But the Gen 2 we have the Lightning connector, Gen 1 we have the Lightning connector, but now the right two devices that you see, we have the USB Type-C connectivity. The remotes are identical for the 2022 model and also 2021 model. But now let's set it up and let's get into some settings. You can see that my Apple TV 4K is connected to my Samsung QN90B, which is the quantum dot LED TV. And you know the highlight for the Apple TV 4K 2022 model, that it can do the HDR10 Plus. So you want to make sure that you take advantage of the Samsung capability of playing the HDR10 Plus. Now let's set up the Apple TV 4K, and I usually do it with my cell phone. So you can press the button on the remote control and it's going to give you some instructions about setting it up using the iPhone. And I find it really seamless when you're connecting and using the iPhone, because it already has your iCloud information. So you connect to the Apple TV with the same information without having to type in the email address and password. But if you don't have the iPhone with you, your better chances are to just set up manually. But in my case, I'm gonna just use my iPhone and do that. And it is a lot easier. What you're gonna do is just press the button setup using the iPhone that you have, or iPad or iTouch, And then you're going to make sure that your Wi-Fi is connected to the network and you have the Bluetooth on. And then you're going to take your device and bring it closer to the Apple TV 4K 2022 model. It is actually old process, but it applies to the same Apple TV 4K 2022 model as well. Once your Apple TV is set up, you're gonna be on your home screen, and first thing I wanna go and do is the settings menu. And I'm gonna head down to the picture settings. So I'm gonna get out of this menu and go to the video and audio settings. And you will see that by default, it has actually enabled the HDR10 Plus because this TV, Samsung QN90B and the Samsung QN90A, and a whole sort of other TVs out there from Samsung, Panasonic, TCL, there are TVs which support the HDR10 Plus, and Apple's gonna pull that information and enable and force the HDR10 Plus for you all the times. So when you're watching the SDR content, it's gonna be pushing the HDR10 Plus all the time. So I wanna actually switch to the 4K SDR because that's how it should be when you're watching the regular content on the TV and which is not the HDR. And then we're gonna head out and go to the match content setting. This is where it's gonna make the difference. So when you click on match content, it's gonna play the HDR, HDR10 Plus. It does not play Dolby Vision because Samsung does not play Dolby Vision. It is limited to the LG, Sony, Hisense, and the other models out there which can do the Dolby Vision. But the Samsung can do HDR10 Plus, which LG, Sony, and various other TVs cannot do. You're gonna click on match dynamic range and the match frame rate because this is going to switch the SDR, HDR, HDR10 Plus for you automatically. So don't enable and force the HDR10 Plus right off the bat, and make sure to go change that. And you can see the Dolby Atmos is enabled. Now I'm gonna go in the menu for the movies and gonna play some HDR10 Plus content to make sure that we have the HDR10 Plus showing. You can see that I'm in my iTunes and I have the Blade Runner 2049 which says the Dolby Vision. The Dolby Vision is not supported on the Samsung TVs. It is supported on the LG, Sony, other brands. But I'm gonna play the Blade Runner 2049 and I'm in the movie SDR picture mode. And that's why I turned off that HDR10 Plus pushing it all the time, because I'm going to show you when you play the HDR10 Plus content, it should switch automatically because if it has that dynamic metadata built into the movie, as you can see, now it switched to the HDR10 Plus. And you see right here, the movie picture mode is switched to the HDR10 Plus. So there are some movies that I found they are already available in the Apple TV library. If you have the iTunes and your purchase movies, they're gonna be playing it in the HDR10 Plus for you. Mostly the movies with the Dolby Vision label on it, they are being played in the HDR10 Plus because the Dolby Vision and the HDR10 Plus, they share that dynamic metadata for the movies. So far, most of the movies that I have purchased, they are working in the HDR10 Plus. I have the Kong versus Godzilla, Godzilla versus Kong, and that is also available in the HDR10 Plus. So when you go and hit play on the movie, you will be able to see the HDR10 Plus. Mostly wherever you see the Dolby Vision, you'll be able to get the HDR10 Plus out of it. So I'm gonna hit the play button on this movie and gonna bring that menu. You can do it if you have Samsung TV by pressing the wheel button. And as soon as you press the wheel button, you'll have the pop-up display on your screen showing, which I'm going to show you, it's playing in the HDR10 Plus. Also, I played a couple of movies and they were playing in the HDR10 Plus, and now we have the vast library using the Apple TV Plus. So there's a show called For All Mankind, and if you play that, you will also be getting the HDR10 Plus. It is because of that dynamic metadata and it will detect it as the HDR10 Plus. So now let's talk about what I would recommend. So among all of these Apple TV 4Ks, so if you don't have any previous generations, I would say get the Apple TV 4K third generation with the Wi-Fi and the Ethernet, because you're not going to be missing out on any feature, especially if you have a Samsung TV where you can take advantage of the HDR10 Plus. Also, the price wise, there's not a big difference between the Wi-Fi and the Wi-Fi plus Ethernet model. So I would say choose the later one with the more pricing because you're going to be getting more out of it. And that's all I have from this video, guys. Let me know in the comment section. I have a couple of stuff that I have been preparing for the coming videos, and that's gonna be on soon. So make sure to hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Until then, peace out.